Radar. I'm here with Megan Stalter, Kayla on Hacks. Megan, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm excited to be chatting with you today. I actually recently had a chat with Paul W. Downs about the show for Awards Radar, which is a lot of fun. Learned a lot about this season and about the Jimmy Kayla dynamic, and excited to get your perspective on some of it as well. But I want to start, so I'm an LA resident. I live here in Glendale, and I got to say, when I watched the first episode of this new season, I literally was walking home from the Americana to to turn on the new season. And it was a really bizarre experience to flip on this new season, which I knew was going to be set in LA, but to see it set, right in my backyard. I'm curious for you as someone, who also lives in Los Angeles, and has, spent a lot of time in this city. What has it been like just like to see Hacks kind of shift to this LA setting, and specifically to see Kayla kind of embrace certain locations such as the Americana, which refers to as an outdoor mall.
Well, it was very fun to film at the Americana. I mean, it has everything that you ever could imagine. There, a movie theater, shopping, soft pretzels. I think it's so much fun. It's so much fun to film in LA because a lot of stuff that I feel like your dream is like, oh, I want to be an actor and live in LA. It's so beautiful, and then you don't actually get to film here a lot of times. So it's been really fun to first of all be home. It's so nice to like after work come home, and then it's also I think LA is just so beautiful and like it has such a amazing sense of community and we get to be right here. So it's been so much fun. And it was also cool at the Americana, there were so many people just shopping while we were filming, staring at us in a fun, cute way.
It is again, like I said, I literally had just walked back from there, and it's always packed there. You're
You were
always.
having a shopping day there.
I was walking back from seeing a film, so
Oh, okay, okay.
that's my local AMC.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just a very cool experience, and I've enjoyed seeing LA represented throughout the show. And with that, obviously, Hacks is a show about the entertainment industry, and it's been about that since it started. But I'm curious for you as someone who has seen this industry from a few different angles and has spent some time, working in the industry. What is it like? How does Hacks kind of shape your perspective on working in the industry, and how do you think the satire has kind of maybe influenced your own worldview?
That's such a good question. I think it's interesting because my first like official acting job was hacks. So I think I probably learned a lot about the industry through the show as I was getting to know it in real life. And I also think that, I mean, I think there's a lot of crazy, wild people in Hollywood, but I have met the best ones at Hacks. So I feel like I've had the most safe environment to learn about the industry because everyone on the show is, and everyone I've ever worked with, I've gotten really lucky that I've just worked with really amazing people. So I've gotten to see the really good parts of the industry through the people that I've worked with. But I know from other people's experiences and what I've heard that there's also really dark craziness in the industry. So I'm lucky that I found such a family in hacks. And then I think the satire in the show is just so funny because it feels so real.
Absolutely. And it's part of this wave, you have shows like The Studio and Apple TV. I was a big fan of the other two, which was, wrapped up a couple years ago. Like
So funny.
such a funny show. And yeah, like these industry satires, maybe I'm a little biased as someone who also has a role or perspective on this industry, but I find it so interesting that they are such a thing, and audiences seem to like them, no matter what. And this season specifically, I thought had some interesting sort of wrinkles and perspectives on the industry. One of which specifically I wanted to mention was Julianne Nicholson's dance mom. Uh,
So amazing.
so funny, just specifically casting Julianne Nicholson, and everything that Jimmy and Kayla kind of get up to with her and trying to kind of build her up. But again, I'm curious your perspective specifically because in some ways I do think there are some parallels there. You're someone who kind of got your start as a content creator and
Mhm.
kind of like some DIY comedy to really rise into the industry and land roles such as a show, such as Hacks. So like working with a character like that, and obviously playing now like a manager types, so removed from maybe your own real life experience. Just what was it like working with Julianne, and just like kind of your thoughts on that dance mom character and this like content creator sort of thing that Hacks is going for?
It's so interesting because I performed for so long and then realized, oh my gosh, we can put our videos online and just post anything. Like, I feel so lucky. I definitely know that the creators of Hacks were familiar with my videos before I met Paul, and like, I feel like that helped me get the job. And so it's a really interesting time where you can put your comedy online. And but I think Dance Mom is so funny because there are so many people on TikTok that are like maybe not necessarily comedians, but all of a sudden they're making a ton of money and they are like performers when maybe they weren't in their real life because they found like a niche online. And then of course like the reveal that she's like not everything she said that she was is so funny to me. And Julianne is so incredible. She's just the most amazing actor. Like, and that's why it's so funny because she played it so real. Like, I think it's interesting because she doesn't do a lot of comedy. Then you see her and you're like, oh wait, she's literally like she's such a talented dramatic actress that seeing her in a comedic role is so cool because she's also so funny. And I think what makes Dance Mom so funny is that she played it so real. Like she literally can like start crying like at the drop of a hat. Like they could be like, "Oh, can you do the next scene like a little bit more sadder? Like you're kind of sad about this." And then she's literally in full tears. Like she has just an amazing range and she's just so fun to hang out with. But that character's so real. Like I saw a TikTok video the other day that I'm like, wait, that is literally Dan's mom. Like that's
Yeah, that doesn't shock me at all. Exactly, because you definitely see those all the time when you're just scrolling through, and you find content creators like that. Yeah, not to keep bringing it back to my anecdote of the Americana, but I was actually having just seen the film The Amateur, in which she plays an FBI director, like the
Mhm.
driest, most like straightforward. It's like an action film. So again, to come home and then see her in Hacks,
Yeah.
such a shift, and yeah, just definitely testament to her talents, and I think just excellent casting, to have her in a role like that. There's a couple other new characters this season that I'm again curious your perspective on because I think Kayla, her arc has been so interesting. Like I think it's fair to say that in the first few seasons Kayla was like very much an explicitly comedic sort of a comedic relief character, and now she has like this massive role with massive responsibilities, and we've seen her grow so much, and we've learned more about her personal life and her family and all these different things. But there's kind of like a new generation now of these like maybe comedic relief characters. Specifically, I think Randy's a really funny character
Yeah.
as you're in Jimmy's kind of new assistant, kind of taking on the Kayla mantle in a sense. I'm curious, what is it like for you as an actress to sort of see these new characters come in and add like a new comedic voice to the show? But also, what's it like for you to see Kayla grow and get to kind of take on new responsibilities?
It was so much fun to have Robby like in the office family. Like I think it was just like it's just the perfect character and like comedian to play that character. Like I feel like Jimmy and Kayla have such a strange like powerful dynamic and it's so funny and they're so different that the third person to come in has to be also really different than both of them. And I also think one of my favorite parts of the show is like how Kayla like parts of playing Kayla is that she rides for Jimmy and she is like literally like is so obsessed with him. So to have someone come in and be kind of on Kayla's side is so funny. Like I feel like Randy kind of rides for Kayla the way that she does with Jimmy. Like she would definitely take Kayla's side and like looks up to her in a way that like Kayla looks up to Jimmy. So it's so funny and Robbie's the funniest. Like it's so much those scenes were so much fun.
Yeah, very fun as a viewer as well, and yeah, I do really think it enhances the dynamic in really fun new ways. So actually, Megan, just have one last question that is actually not quite as hacks related, if that's okay. I saw you in a short film a little under a year ago called "I Love You" by that played here
Yeah.
at Vidiots in Eagle Rock. And I just want to say, like, I was a huge fan of it. I thought it was super funny. It really, like, it wasn't on my radar. It was just, quite honestly just opening the feature length film that I was there to see. But it was probably my lasting memory. It was a lot of fun, and so I just kind of wanted to ask you maybe a little bit about your experience making that short, but also just seeing you in like a leading role of a short comedy like that. I'm curious, like kind of maybe what your sort of your goals are as an actress, and if that's the kind of role that you would love to see yourself taking on moving forward.
Yeah, that's such a good question. I had so much fun making that. And the director and writer is one of my best friends, Taylor James. And then the other lead is my other close best friend, that's his fiance, Kanoa. And they're so talented. And literally, it was just so much fun to make it. And it looks so good. And it was such a it's such a, like, fun, genius way of, like, pulling in everything that, like, me and Kanoa do and, like, what Taylor does in, like, a really unique way. I just loved making that so much. It's so funny, and also, like, there's sweetness too, and, like, I just love working with them, they're my close, close friends. Um, and then, yeah, like, I think my I definitely want to be in more stuff like that as like I feel like it's so my sense of humor, but also like to bring that kind of character as like the main character is something maybe you don't always see, like the wacky, insane person being like the lead. But I also think I have Lena Dunham's shows coming out in July, Too Much, and I'm the lead of that, and it feels like similar where it's like such a dream to be like sort of like this chaotic woman at the front.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like I just want to be in my friends' things and write my own stuff and keep making like these weirder characters have these big moments, I think.
Totally, totally. And again, bring it back to Hacks. I do think that's been a testament to the show and its kind of treatment of Kayla as a character, that a girl we met as someone quite wacky and who's remained wacky, has actually like proven to Jimmy and to us as viewers like how capable she is and the way she can kind of muzzle things across. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun to follow your work, and yeah, best of luck to you, Megan. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, thank you so much. Amazing questions.
Oh,
Amazing.
thank you.